Hello everyone. This video is basically a video where I talk about something, some unusual stuff. I heard a Christian by the name of the Christian Dentist who hangs out over in a room called Debate Faith over in Stickham. Debate Faith's a pretty interesting room. At times there can be some very awesome and logical discussions and debates between Christians, Muslims, and atheists and agnostics. Unfortunately, it's a little one-sided, though, because there are a lot of non-believers on Stickham, but the Christians usually hang out in their own room and they don't really want to talk or discuss things, except for a few, such as Lily White, Jesus Freak, will at times actually entertain atheists and allow us to ask him questions and talk about things and stuff. Yoke Up at first seemed like he was willing to do things, but then when he realized that he was a punk bitch and couldn't deal with anything, then he basically keeps the non-believers and the infidels out of his room. So be it, so be it. But back to the conversation. One thing I want to say, too, before I get into this, is the Christians and the Muslims who actually do have the courage and I guess the faith or belief or whatever's going on inside of you that makes you unique to other Christians, the fact that you actually will come into a room where there's so many non-believers and actually talk about things and try the best you can, even if your answers aren't good enough or you don't convert anybody, you at least try. And I've always admired that and respected people who have the courage to do that. I myself like to go in as one guy into the territory of many Christians and deal with them at a time. I don't know why, I just enjoy it. Well, I guess I know some reasons why, but that's besides the point. So what happens is Christian Dentist, he comes along and he says something to the effect of he believes that you can prove God. And what he does is he does the same thing that you'll probably see in the most recent Venom Fang video, where Venom Fang holds up his monitor for TJ and then does a lot of real good showmanship and shit back and forth. Of course, TJ's the amazing atheist. Mr. Venom Fang holds up a laptop and stuff, and then the dentist, at the same time, maybe he learned it from Venom Fang, held up a lighter, and he said, "Don't you believe that there's a designer for the lighter?" And I don't have to believe that there's a designer for a lighter. I told him, I said, I accept that there is someone who manufactures these motherfuckers, and someone came up with the idea so I could light my cancer sticks. I do agree with that. And he goes, well, it's the same with humanity and the world. You can just look around you at the environment, and you can look at humanity and this life that we have and everything, and this proves to him without a doubt that these are basically the footprints in the sand. This is the existence of God. So I went along with the monitor, of course, and you could see a lot of atheists getting all and shit. And a buddy of mine by the name of Reverend Smoke Dog and stuff, and a couple others were sitting in there just, just because it's an argument we've heard like a billion times and shit. But besides all that, he describes also an analogy that when you're walking through a forest or the woods and you see prints of a deer, it's pretty persuasive for you. I mean, when you see those fucking prints, you know that something was there. You know that there was a deer that was actually walking around there. Perhaps even a few, maybe a mother and shit giving milk to her little one. Who knows? We don't know. Could be a fucking gorilla with little feet. But the point is that basically when he looks around him at nature and everything around him, he just has to hold on to the idea that there is a God and that he designed everything. So, although every other atheist in the world, I guess, has their own way of approaching this type of question, I also have my own unique one, and I call it the leap of faith conundrum. And the reason why I say this is because what I do is then I turn into the devil's advocate and I say something to this effect. Let's say that you're right. Let's say that the atheists take that leap of faith with you right off the goddamn cliff. And we decide, because of what's going on around in nature and when we look at our hands and we see all the lines in it and all the cool shit that's that man has invented and created and what nature has molded and everything, let's say that, okay, fine, there's a God, there's a creator who did all this kind of shit. But there's a serious problem here. At this moment, a lot of Christians and Muslims are probably getting all fucking hyped up and excited, and they're thinking, wow, are atheists now admitting this? I said, no, that is not what the admittance is. What the problem is now, if we were to take this hypothetical leap of faith, we would then have to ask a very big question. And this question poses an invisible wall that stands before all religious people as well as non-believers. The invisible wall is this. Okay, so we establish now and we decide all together in union that there has to be a God because nature and the environment and all the shit around us and all the cool stuff we see in movies and TV and our popcorn tastes good. Okay, so who is this God? Who is he? Is he the one that Christians believe in? Is he the one Muslims believe in? Is he the one that the Hindus believe in? Because as you know, the Hindus don't just believe in one, they believe in a billion of them. So which one is it? Did Krishna create the fucking tree? Did Yahweh create the dirt? Did Mithra make the goddamn deer that was walking around and then all the gods took turns on working on shit? Or was it just simply one of them? I mean, we really need to establish, if we're going to get to the point where we all accept that there's some kind of invisible guy who's pulling our strings like a puppeteer, we need to know which one it is. And since you religious folks out there have so many layers of the cake and shit here, and you've got so many fucking stories that you guys have invented for thousands and thousands of years, you still leave us at the same place we started at when we were at this when we started this conversation, Mr. Dentist. We are still at the starting point of chutes and ladders and fucking Candyland. We don't know if there's a God. We can't establish who this God is, or if the Muslims are right, or the Christians, or any of these religions, because we can't even establish if one exists. And that is why, my friends, you have atheists out there who lack a belief in deities, because we're not seeing these footprints in the sand that you're talking about. We're not seeing God's fucking signature on the tree. I'm sorry. We see that everything is natural based and everything came to be through nature. No God necessary, no batteries included, no miracles needed. That's just the way it is, friends. Thank you. You've been listening to the Stallion.